For I think about 2 years now, I've been absolutely obsessed with self-improvement. It feels like the second I graduated, I just kind of had this idea in my head that, oh I'm done with middle school, it's time for high school. Once I get here, reality is just gonna give me a massive backhand to the face, and I need to be ready for this. So it was the beginning of summer vacation. I had all of this time to relax, but I just couldn't stop thinking about this one thing. Like, I knew that on day one, I was gonna be totally lost. Not a single one of my friends were going to the same school as me, and that was just absolutely terrifying. That didn't help with that at all. So I decided to get on this research grind and started just binging self-improvement content. Like, I was watching everything from Hamza to freaking Dr. K from Healthy Gamer. Like, I was absorbing information like a sponge. I thought I was totally set for life. The only problem was I wasn't actually doing anything with this information. And so on the first day of my freshman year, like I predicted, before I started watching everything, I had absolutely no idea what the hell was going on. If anything, like, watching all this stuff just showed me how incredibly inadequate I was, and it probably made like my chances of actually succeeding even worse. So while I was watching all this content that I thought was just gonna somehow magically make me a better person, I wasn't actually doing anything. Like, I was still this skinny gamer loser with no friends, and all the videos in the world were not gonna change that. You see, the main problem with actually improving yourself, it's not the difficulty of the tasks you're supposed to perform to accomplish your goals. It's just like starting, that's the worst part. That may just be me because my ADHD or whatever, but just making like a plan to get off the couch and start something in the future is where like 90% of people just quit. Like, they just give up. Nope, that's too hard. Can't do that. And the thing you have to understand about this is, if you're a procrastinator like me, self-improvement videos are not going to do anything to help you if you don't act right away. I actually talked about this in my first video, but sometime later is just never going to happen. It's never going to happen. When you see a self-improvement video, you need to write that stuff down. Don't just save it to your watch later playlist, because you know that you're never going to go back to look at that. Like, actually, just right now, just open a Google Doc and just start writing stuff down. Writing stuff down, actually, I know you probably heard this a million times at school, but writing stuff down makes you remember stuff like 10 times better than if you just listen to it or something like that. I'm pretty sure like watching videos can help, but actually like doing it yourself and taking the time to actually see each individual letter and word and like go over it multiple times in your head is insanely helpful. Like, this is why teachers don't like it when you take pictures of notes that they put up on the board. Because when you do that, A, you're probably never going to go back and look at it, and B, none of it is actually going to stick inside of your brain. So like right now, I just want you to open a Google Doc or Microsoft Word or a notebook or whatever you want to use and just make a new section, title it like self-improvement notes or something, just whatever you want. Like, I have a full library full of different little notebooks that I use to help manage myself. And if you're not that kind of person that can just get up and do hard work right away, these notes and reminders are of like the utmost importance. They're essential to getting anywhere. The next thing I want to talk about is personalization. Have you ever been just like super demotivated to do something like homework or chores or your job or whatever it may be? In this case, self-improvement consumers like the old me or like freshman me, I still do this today. This is still something I'm guilty of a bit. But whenever something like this would happen, I just didn't have the motivation to do something, I just look up how to do it on YouTube. Usually what happens is you'll just see all these videos of these self-improvement gurus just like trying to give you all the best top 5 tips on how to get all your homework done right now. Stuff that claims to be quick and easy. Stuff that will give you results immediately, like regardless of your current situation. The only problem is people that are making these videos are making them based off of their own experience. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but there is no one size fits all for self-improvement. And a lot of the time you'll have to do your own research to find out what specifically fits you the best. Like, one way you can do this is by actually testing out and recording different methods of self-improvement. Like, let's say that you want to get your homework done quickly, but you don't know which method you're supposed to use to actually do that. Like, you see all these different videos of these people saying how you can get this done, and they're all saying completely different things. So let's find two videos that you liked. Let's say, for example, for me, one of them said that I was supposed to start working on my homework for 15 minutes, take a 5-minute break, increase those intervals based on your personal preferences or whatever, and just alternate back and forth between the longer working periods and like the 5-minute breaks until you have all of your homework done. Like using like a clock or a stopwatch or something, or some kind of alarm that you can use to keep track of when you're supposed to start and stop is a good way to keep track of it. And another one says that you need to start your stopwatch, work on your homework or whatever you need to get done for as long as you can until you lose motivation, want to get distracted. Stop it once that happens, take a break, and then try to beat your previous record. Like, let's say you were able to work for 11 minutes before you wanted to pull out your phone. So you'd record that 8 minutes, and it's like, okay, well, next time we'll try 8 minutes and 30 seconds, maybe 9 minutes. Like, don't even look at the clock. Just like keep going until you're sure that you're past the timer. If you're not, just keep working. You get the idea. You can add as many different methods as you want. Like, YouTube has an infinite number of videos on this kind of thing. But what you're gonna want to do is just try out the first method the first day. Once that day is over, you'll just record, like at the end of the day, you'll record how effective it was in your notes. And then you have to do the same thing the next day with the second method. You will just compare your notes and then just keep doing this with whatever other methods that you want to use until you find some method that just works best for you. You know, it doesn't matter if you write them down, if you feel like you can just memorize them, unless none of the methods worked. You should be able to just find the method that works the best and then just use that. Self-improvement isn't something you can just rush. It's like a science experiment. You need to run tests on yourself to actually get any decent results. Over time, you can compile these results to eventually get like a little protocol list for life. Or maybe you don't want a protocol list. Maybe you just need something more personalized. Maybe you can memorize it. Maybe you need them on sticky notes. I don't know. It's all about figuring out what works best for you. I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite when I say this. I don't do this too often. I probably only have like 2 or 3 things in my protocol list for life that I don't even look at very often. But I think that the reason that most people don't really talk about this is because, you know, it's not really something that you can make content off of. Like, this is just kind of a one and done thing. You can't keep milking this over and over again. Like, it's as simple as that. You just need to run experiments on yourself. You need to find out what works for you and then use it. And this is something that can be applied to almost every part of your life. Like, it's not easy, it takes a lot of time, but that's just how life works. It's trial and error. And I think that if you can just get over that fear of making mistakes and just try stuff out, you're gonna succeed eventually. That's like the biggest problem I have right now. Like, homework techniques, like tiny little tweaks to your day-to-day life, that stuff is easy. But big stuff like trying a new sport, getting a job, that's scary. Like, I'm filling out job applications right now, and like, I'm just so incredibly terrified for these interviews that I'm scheduled to come up with. Because like, I have done like 1 interview before in my life, and it was absolutely terrifying. I had no idea what to do. And then, actually no, I've had 2. And the second one I learned, but it was still scary, you know? It's still a relatively new experience, and nobody wants that. Humans like consistency. I guess that's kind of what I'm doing with this video, you know? Views have been kind of down recently, so I thought, you know, I'd give Helldivers 2 a shot. See how people receive it. You know, next video I might split everything up into sections. Maybe I'll add some more stuff to the presentation over my gameplay. You know, make it more professional. It's all trial and error. Anyways, thank you for watching. Leave any recommendations you have down in the comments, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.